In this lesson, we're gonna take a quick look at materials in Maya. So in order to create materials in Maya, we need to open the hypershade. So we can open the hypershade by going up and click on this sphere icon, or you can go to Windows and then rendering editors and then hypershade. And here you see we have some materials. These are the default materials in Maya. So when you create any object in Maya, will be assigned with a Lambert material. And you see here I have some tabs like texture, utilities, rendering, and so on. And in this part you can create the materials. And here you see we have the shading network editor there. And in this part you see I have the property editor, and this is like the attribute editor. And here you see the material viewer, so you can view what the material will look like before you apply it on any object. And you can close this windows if I click on the X button there, and this one, as you see, I am closing them. And unfortunately there is no reset button in the hypershade, so you need to do it manually. So if I go to Windows, I can click on the browser to open. This is the browser. I can click on the property editor. As you see, this is works like the attribute editor, so I'm going to place that there. And I can go to again to window, and I can click on create. As you see, this is the materials. You can create materials from here, and I can go to Windows and I can click on material viewer, and you need to place it there. So you don't have reset button to reset everything there. So let's create our first material. In this part you see I can create a materials, and we are going to use the Arnold materials because the Arnold render is the default renderer in Maya. So I'm going to close the default Maya materials. You can use it with Arnold too if you want to, but we are going to focus on the Arnold shaders. So if I click on the shader, you'll see here we have the AI standard surface. So if I click on that, you see here I have the AI standard surface, and you'll notice here in the network editor there I have the material and I have the shading group. Here you can assign a displacement map if you wanted to, or a volume. So in the AI standard surface, and now let's take a look how to assign it to the object in the viewport. So we need to move the hypershade aside a little bit there, and I'm going to select the first object there, and I'm going to right click on that and choose assign material to viewport selection. So if I click on that, now the material assigned to the sphere, and I can double click there to name it, for example material 1, and I can change the color from there or from the attribute editor too. As you see, I can see the preview there, and as you see we assigned, I think we didn't select the material, sorry. We made a mistake by selecting the Lambert. So I'm going to select the material, and then I'm going to change that to red. As you see, I have a preview of the material, so you don't have to look at the viewport to see the material color there. You can see it there, and you can change that, for example, to shader ball, you can sphere, and so on, plane, and so on. So let's now create the material in another way. So we can hit tab on the keyboard and then type AI standard surface. And I'm going to assign it to the second ball. I can do that by hold the middle mouse button and drag and drop it on the second sphere. As you see, I assigned that there. I can change the color. Let's change the color from the attribute editor. So if I select that, I can go to attribute editor. You see I see the same attributes there. So let's set that to yellow. And let's create the material in another way. So I can select the sphere in the viewport. I can right click and choose assign new material. So if I click on that, you see I have an editor here. So I can go to Arnold shader and I can click on AI standard surface. So now I created the second material too. Let's set a blue color for that. And if I open the hypershade, as you see, this is the material we just created. And here they are too. And let's create another material for the materials text there. Right click and you can choose assign existing materials to from here. These are the materials we are just created. So I'm going to click on assign new material and I'm going to shader and AI standard surface. And in the attribute editor, you'll see here in the presets, if I click on that, you see I have presets here. So you can assign a milk, you can assign a glass shader, chrome, or anything you want to. And when you create a material in Maya, and let's say if I changed some attributes there, and there is no way to reset the settings here. So you need to delete that and create another material. And this is really funny and it's very annoying too. So you cannot reset the settings of the shader here.